everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another special Zoom and Learn. I am Zoe Frost with Celebration Magazine Live, and we have with us today Vicki Skipworth with Anthology Senior Living. Now, Vicki is going to be talking about a topic that's actually near and dear to my heart. And that is, what exactly is assisted living and memory care? She is going to tell you who she is, what her credentials are. She's worked in the business for a long time. We've actually worked for the same company. So I know that she's going to share a lot of great information with you today. So I'm going to spotlight Vicki here, and she is going to take it away.
All right. Thank you, Zoe. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me come into your homes today and visit with you guys. As Zoe said, I'm Vicki Skipworth. I am the executive director at Anthology of Stonebridge Ranch. We are a beautiful assisted living and memory care that's right here in beautiful McKinney, Texas. I have been in senior care, both assisted living and standalone memory care for over 12 years. I started as a marketer, getting out and doing the one-on-ones and working with families, because I got into the business because I had to go through that myself with my father, and we had to locate a long-term care facility for him. And I had a background in sales and marketing, and I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it where I'm doing it somewhere where I can really help people and do it where I can really enjoy it. And I stepped off into senior care about 12 years ago, and I've never looked back. I enjoy it so very much. I'm going to, as Zoe said, talk today about assisted living and memory care. I get lots and lots and lots of questions on a daily basis about what the difference is, what is offered, what's available, what kind of services are there, what the cost is, and things like that. So I hope I'm able to answer some of that for you today. So I'm going to go over some of the basic information, and then at the end, we'll have time for you to ask me some questions, if that will help. Okay, Miss Zoe, you can go ahead and start our show.
All right. Well, I do our screen share here just as a reminder. Do you want to let everyone know that you can put all of your questions into the chat and we will go over them at the end. All right. Are you seeing full screen, Vicki?
I am. Perfect. Okay, you can go ahead and flip to the next one. Okay, again, we're talking about assisted living and or memory care today, what it is, what the differences are. We know that I am one of the baby boom babies, and there's a bunch of us, and we are all getting to that point in our life where we are going to be needing some assistance. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services tells us that nearly 70% of adults over 65 will require long-term care as they age in place, which is a very big number considering how many there are of us out there. The choices are overwhelming. And again, this is what I hear on a daily basis when people come in to talk with us here at the community. It's like, we just don't understand, this building has this, and this building has this, and this one offers this. And everyone wants the best care either for themselves or their loved one. So it's understanding what's out there, what to look for, what to ask for, and what to make sure that the community provides for you. Okay, so you can go ahead and flip it. I got a frog in my throat today. Okay, understanding the difference. What is assisted living and what is memory care? Assisted living is designed to encourage as much independence as possible for seniors while they provide housing, services, and of course care, including medical care for individuals, assistance with daily activities. We help our residents with dressing. We cook their meals for them. We do their laundry. We do their housekeeping. But it's also a state of independence. In assisted living, you have an apartment that belongs to you. It is not like a hospital room. We do not enter it. We do not invade it. We have to knock to come in. It is your private apartment that you get to have and set up however you want. You decorate it and put furniture in it in any way that you want to. Seniors are able to enjoy a maintenance-free lifestyle while engaging in lots of fun social activities. Oh my God, they have so much fun here. In fact, last night was Monday, so they had martini madness in the bistro last night. So lots of martinis were flowing yesterday afternoon. They get to benefit from amenities and services that support a thriving lifestyle, all with the access of routine assistance. So it truly is living independently with assistance. So when you do need that help and assistance, it is there for you. When you don't, you have the ability to close your door or go to your activities and live your life just the way you would like to. In memory care, it is a higher level of care. Essentially, memory care is more extensive, comprehensive aspect of assisted living. It is geared toward individuals who need more of a watchful eye and more attendance and definitely more hands-on care, whether that be from dementia and Alzheimer's, which is the primary thing that you would use memory care for. But I have also had residents that have stayed in my cognitive care or my memory care area that do not have dementia. They just can not do a lot of things on their own, or they've possibly been in an accident of some kind. They possibly have a situation such as Parkinson's or something, but they do not have a diagnosis of dementia. So it is not required to have that to be in this kind of care unit. The high level care approach is designed to provide a safe and structured environment for seniors that still have tons of activities. They have outdoor areas where they can go out and have lots of things going on, lots of interaction, lots of fun, but also supervision and safety. Most of your memory care areas within the community are going to be secure areas because most residents that are in a memory care type setup are residents that need to not be able to wander or leave because they may leave a community without being aware of where they're going. So we want to keep everybody safe, but still having a wonderful life filled with lots of fun and activity. Okay, Zoe. All your communities, whether assisted living or memory care, should always provide the following for you. You should always have your meals provided, housekeeping, laundry service, maintenance service, including like hanging your TV on the wall or doing those kinds of things, light bulbs, cleaning your carpet, all those good things, all your utilities, emergency preparedness inside the building in case something were to happen. Tons of activities, and of course, interaction. The number one reason that we have residents come into an assisted living is for that interaction, being able to have other people around and a lot of fun and make friends and to have someone to spend those days with. And this beautiful picture here, this is our dining room. This is the dining room at Stonebridge that's on our assisted living side. So you kind of get a chance to see that. Okay. What are the differences? One of the things we're going to start with, one of the main things that you'll see, one of the differences you'll see between the two is staffing. Assisted living and memory care communities often have similar staffing, including nurses and trained, what we call caregivers or care providers. However, most of your memory care communities, including ours, offer the added security of staff members who are trained in dementia and memory care. Our caregivers here, honestly, we do both sides, but definitely if you're going to be on memory care, they go through 24 hours of training before they ever hit the floor. And then we're required by the state that they receive an additional 16 to 24 hours of training every single year. And it has to be specifically on things that are connected to dementia, so that we make sure that we're understanding exactly what our residents need. Memory care staff members are educated on every level, from the housekeeping to the executive directors, which is true. When I have my training classes, it's not just my caregivers that are trained. My housekeepers go, my dining room people go, my front desk staff people go. We make sure that everyone is understanding what our residents need. Education is based on state mandated training classes that help the staff understand dementia, care communication, and the importance of empathizing with patients and their families. We want to make sure that we're not only understanding what the resident is going through, but the families go through this as well. And we know that, and we want to be there. The other thing that you want to know about when you're dealing with staff within assisted living or memory care is what we call our care ratio. Staff ratio is the number of residents they're being taken care of by one particular care staff member. That doesn't count the nurses or the med techs, just the care staff member. In a long-term care facility, such as a rehab facility or even a hospital, you may have as many as 25 to 30 people under the care of one caregiver or one nurse. When you come into assisted living, it goes much lower. We standardly have about 10 to 15 people under the care of one caregiver. And when we say under the care, that means if you press a button and need their care, that's the person that's going to come to you to assist you with anything, including transfers or showers or anything else that might be needed for our residents. When you go to memory care, the ratio what you should see is the ratio should become lower still, because those residents are getting the highest level of hands-on care. Our residents in our memory care area, it is pretty much the way I explain it to people, it is 24-hour eyes on hands-on care. We do 2-hour rounds. We are checking our residents every 2 hours, even if they're asleep. We want to open the door, make sure they're okay, make sure they don't need any care of any kind, that we're there for them, and that we've had eyes on them just in case they should need something that we're not aware of. Okay, so.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to add my 2 cents to something about the ratio. And I love that Vicki put that it's to the caregiver, to the actual person delivering the care. If you go to some places and you ask them what their ratio is, they will include all of their staff. So I love it, and that's people who aren't providing hands-on care. So I love that Vicki made sure that she specified that your care ratio should be for care, not just all the staff. So it's something to be mindful of. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Next thing that we want to talk about is the environment. There is a difference between assisted living and memory care. Assisted living communities are secure and comfortable. It is, when you walk in them, what you should see is a very home-like atmosphere with open courtyards and common areas and talking areas, coffee clutch area, large open concept dining rooms that make you feel at home and part of the community. Memory care communities do also offer all of those same things, but it is a specialized environment for people with memory conditions, but they are still attractive, but they are safe and secure. Some of those even go so far as to offer things like motion sensors, door alarms, other features that you won't see on assisted living, to make sure that those people are getting just that extra little level of safety and care. This picture that you see here is one of our common areas. This is our sunroom, and it opens out through those 2 doors to this absolutely beautiful courtyard with a big covered arc area, covered in rose bushes. It's so pretty. All right. Talking a little bit more about environment, assisted living apartments usually feature a kitchen or a kitchenette. Memory care units will not, for safety reasons. The residents are usually in that environment, are getting that hands-on care. They are not cooking or dealing with any kind of appliances. You may also find specially designed environmental elements in memory care that they add to make sure that they have just a little bit higher level in experience and things there. Though you might see some larger windows, lots of openings to the outside. I know ours has windows all the way down. It's very bright. It's very open. Our memory care even has 2 courtyards, so our residents can go outside. You will see usually more calming colors rather than any reds or oranges or beiges. You'll see usually a lot of blues and greens and very calming colors, and still that very much of a home environment. Lots of big, open, inviting communal spaces and lots of activity space. Because in memory care, activities are consistent. There's usually something starting every 20 minutes, where in assisted living, it's more on a schedule where something happens and then there's a little bit of a break and then something else is going to happen in the afternoon and then you have lunch, and it's a little bit more of a schedule, where in memory care, it is ongoing. We're doing something with our residents constantly, so that we can keep them engaged. Meal plans. Both assisted living and memory care facilities should always offer you 3 meals a day. Plus we do snacks. Plus we do events and activities that always include some kind of food and goodies. We do door-to-door happy hours. We do wine down Wednesdays, martini Mondays. We deliver ice cream door-to-door on assisted living with a little ice cream truck. We do lots of good fun things. And of course, you can't have fun without food. You have to include food in some way. Because choice is important, lots of meal selections are offered. That is really key. We want to make sure that our residents are not stuck. Nothing is worse than eating something you don't like. For breakfast here, our breakfast in our assisted living dining room is like going to Denny's. You can walk in and order the special of the day if you like, or you can order anything on the menu. You can get a full egg breakfast, waffles, pancakes, or if you just want a nice bowl of Cheerios, we'll make you a nice bowl of Cheerios. Lunch and dinner, there is 2 specials. There are 2 specials made each day for each meal, and you can select from those items, or we have an additional menu that has 25 to 30 what we call always available items that you can select from, so you never get bored and you can select different things every day. For memory care residents, we even go so far as to offer things like special silverware, where our residents that have a hard time holding and handling can hold them. Finger foods in some cases, if it's easier to them, because at some point, many of them lose the ability to hold silverware. And even special plating, special consistencies, to make sure that we're dealing with any of those requirements that we have to have so they can enjoy their meals. This picture came from our kitchen. This is our chicken and waffles that comes off our always available menu, and I can speak to it personally. It is amazing.
It looks fantastic.
Those are homemade chicken fingers with a buttermilk waffle, and that is a maple mustard syrup. Doesn't sound crazy, doesn't sound like good, but it is so good. So good.
That sounds yummy. All right. You ready for the next one?
I am. Okay. Most of your assisted living communities are pet friendly now. They have finally understood that pets for anyone are an important part of our life. I personally am very active in animal rescue. I have a house full of dogs and cats. And if you took one of them away, I would just be crushed for life. This little dog that's in the picture is my little dog, Frankie, who you saw earlier. He has been coming with me to the buildings for over 6 years. This is his 3rd building. He comes to work every day. And unfortunately, bless his poor little heart, in October, when Halloween rolls around, especially, he comes to work every single day in a different Halloween costume, which everybody just loves. And he has trunks of clothes. And if he's not in a coat, he's in a bandana. But we all love our pets, and now your communities have understood that. And so they do have the ability for our residents to bring their pets with them. There is usually a pet deposit that's in place. And as long as our residents can care for and feed and take out the pet, then I know here there's no additional charge. There are some communities that may charge you an additional add-on to your rent, especially if they do anything to care for the pet. So if they let them out every once in a while or something like that. I just saw the question pop up, said, is there a pet limit? Usually what you see at communities, the pet limit is 2, but it also depends on the size. So I have a lady here who has 3 cats. They're small, they're cats. So, you know, we work with her on that. Usually the weight limit is 50 pounds and below, because we do want to make sure that they are safe in the building and that we don't have, you know, lots of big dogs running down the hallway. But in memory care, we usually do not allow pets over on memory care just because of the fact that the residents there, usually it's standardly that they do not understand care and they're not going to be able to care for the pet. But pets can come visit anytime. Saturdays and Sundays here. Oh, we have all kinds of puppies especially come and visit for the day and get to hang out and see the residents and then go home. So we love to have them just like the rest of the families come and visit us. Okay. Next is cost. This is usually the big one. Assisted living is an investment in the quality of life. I will tell you the number one thing that I hear from people that especially that move into assisted living is that they think about it kind of a while, and then after they move in, I hear this all the time. It's like, why didn't I do this sooner? It's like, I could live somewhere where somebody will clean my house, wash my clothes, cook for me 3 times a day, and I can just do whatever I want to do and go to activities or put my feet up, and I could have done this a long time ago. So it is an investment in the quality of life and having a full life with friends. Assisted living, they typically charge a monthly base rate, which is also your room rent. This is going to include, as I said earlier, your room and board, your meals, your laundry, your housekeeping, your activities, your maintenance, your utilities, your emergency preparedness. Everything is included in that. The only thing additional that you would look to have is what we call a level of care. What you're going to see in your buildings is they're going to ask you to do an assessment, which is standardly done by the nurse when you come in. The nurse is going to sit down and talk to the resident that is going to be coming in, just to gauge and get an idea of what type of hands-on care that resident would need. And then based on that assessment and knowing what kind of care that resident needs, they will assign a level of care. Now, I will tell you, as you go from building to building, it is a huge array. You can go here, for example, we have 4 levels of care. You could go to another building and they might have 10 levels of care. You could go to another one and they would have 8 levels of care. It truly is decided upon by the company or the building. The levels are going to always start somewhere in the $300 to $400 range. And usually the highest you're going to see could be as high as an additional $2,000 a month. Now, when you do get to that level, you are at that highest level where it is a lot of care. And so it's usually more advantageous for a resident to go ahead and make the move to the cognitive care area where you can pay one price. And that is the difference. You can go ahead and flip over, Zoe, because it's already onto the other. With memory care, because it does involve the extra level of supervision and more specialized care, the fees may be a little higher, but the fee is an all-inclusive fee standardly. Not going to say all of them, because some of them will try to go ahead and do the same thing on memory care. They'll do a little bit higher room rate and then a higher level of care. So again, that varies from company to company. What we do here is it's all inclusive. That means you have no level of care. So if your room is $3,500 a month, then that is all you pay is $3,500 a month, and that includes everything that you would need. Okay. So let's do a quick recap. We look at assisted living. You're going to have larger apartments with kitchenettes, full bedrooms, large living spaces, open spaces, courtyards, independence, total independence with care that is there when you need it. Great food, fun interactive activities and entertainment, pet friendly. Prices include all your amenities, including your medication management, laundry, housekeeping, meals, at no additional charge. The only thing you would have would be that level of care, which I do have some people that are on a level 0, which means they have nothing. If you don't require any hands-on care, then there is no level of care cost. Then we look at memory care, which is 24/7 eyes-on, hands-on care, smaller apartments. This is due a lot to the fact that the residents are never in their rooms. They get up in the morning, they go out to meals together, and they are pretty much together all day. They do activities together, they eat together. Not saying they can't go to their rooms and take a nap if they want to, but they usually, they like hanging out together. Dementia trained staff, more activities on a more regular basis due to the interaction. It's a safe, specialized environment, very fun atmosphere, and a little bit higher cost due to the higher level of care, but standardly all inclusive. So that's the good part. And of course, great food on that side as well. And we can handle any kind of special diets. All right, you can flip it over. All right, this is a picture of the front of our building, our beautiful, beautiful building. I want to thank you guys again for letting me be part of your day today. And now I can answer any questions that you might have for me that I didn't cover for you.
All right, I'm going to stop the share and bring myself up on screen. I've got a question to lead us off, and there are some in there already, but I wanted to ask, if someone, say, is that level 0 in the assisted living, you can still drive and have a car there, right? If you're, yeah.
And thank you for bringing that up, Zoe. I have several of my residents in assisted living, and again, it's independence. You want our residents to have as much independence as they can. So I have several that bring their cars. There is no cost for having your car here. They come and go. They go to the store whenever they want. For our other residents who cannot get out on their own, we have the great, big, beautiful bus. And at least once a week, we will take residents who want to Walmart or Target. They go out to eat a couple of nights a week. They've gone to the botanical gardens. They drove out to Ennis to see the bluebonnets. So we do doctor's appointments for them and things like that. So you can go either way.
Yeah, and that's a big point I wanted to make. It's one of the reasons why I asked Vicki to do this presentation today, is because assisted living especially is so misunderstood as far as, what that you need care just because it's called assisted living. A lot of people choose to go to assisted living because everything is included. They still have an independent lifestyle, but then as they start having needs come up, they're already in a location that's going to be able to address those needs, as opposed to, now I got to move again. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to go now. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this today. Okay, so first question I have here for you is, in assisted living, is your internet included?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, in our building here, we do have wireless internet, and we also provide you with your cable TV. So you come in and depending on what apartment you pick, I have studios, I have 1 bedrooms, I have 2 bedrooms, however many rooms you got, that's how many cable hookups you have. It's just plug and play.
Fantastic. And that's a really important thing also to mention is a lot of people, if you look at the cost, just in comparison, if you're looking at independent retirement living, Yeah, you've got your base cost, but then we're going to add trash service. We're going to add a fee for parking. You've got to pay for your internet. You've got to pay for your phone. You've got to pay for your cable. Oh, by the way, here's the water and sewage fee. And there's a lot of fees that go on top of your rent that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Whereas with assisted, it's all included. You know exactly what your cost is every month. So does Medicare pay for any part of the assisted living cost?
Not usually. There are supposedly, I was told couple of weeks ago that there is at least one building, I haven't found it yet, that there's at least one assisted living in DFW that does work with Medicare. Standardly, assisted living and memory care are going to be private pay. Right. If you are a veteran and you have aid in attendance, your aid in attendance will pay for assisted living and or memory care. And if you have long-term care insurance, your long-term care insurance will also cover assisted living and memory care.
Okay, next question is, are all the meds dispensed, or can you dispense your own if you're in the assisted living?
If you have the ability to, you can dispense your own. We just have to make sure that's usually a little process that you go through with the nurse when you come in, because we just want to make sure that everyone understands what they're supposed to take and how they're supposed to take it. So it's just a little thing that happens once a month with the nurse. You sit down and they verify with you that you understand all the meds and when everything's supposed to be taken. And if you're able to do that, absolutely, you can do your own medications.
Perfect. Is it true if a resident is incontinent that they can be in assisted living or memory care?
Yes, absolutely. I have several of my residents that are on assisted living that are incontinent. I have many that we help pretty much every 2 hours. They will call us. We will assist them to the restroom. Even if they're with a walker or in a wheelchair, we will assist them with those transfers, assist them back into the wheelchair and back into their living room or bedroom or wherever they want to go. Standardly on memory care, you're going to see most of the residents there have incontinent care, and that's another reason we do 2-hour rounds. So every 2 hours, we are checking residents to make sure whether they need any assistance in that area and taking care of them. So absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. You already answered this, but I'll ask it again. Is this something that long-term care insurance covers?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Just check your policy. That'll let you know for sure. And Vicki, especially, she can help you with that. She knows very much about that, and she can actually look at your policy and figure out, yes, this will cover this type of service. So yeah. Okay. And then, okay, so I'm going to break this question into 2 questions. Okay. The actual question is, what is the average age that a person starts to use assisted living? But I'm going to follow that up with, how old's your youngest resident there?
I have had residents as young as 53. I've had residents as old as 104. So it really, they're really
the gambit. Yeah.
So it's just, we have them now. We are honestly seeing in the last couple of years, I have actually seen more and more younger people that are moving into assisted. It's my average age in the building right now is probably 70 something. I have residents in their 90s, but I have several that are in their 70s, 71, 69, around in there.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think it's due to the education that's out there now about what assisted living can actually be for you. Okay, so another question we have here is when would a resident need to move into skilled nursing home care. I added skilled in there. They just said nursing home care, but skilled nursing care.
Okay, not memory care, skilled nursing.
It says nursing home care. So I'm going to assume that that would be a skilled. Yeah.
Usually the only time our residents, what we try to do, the wonderful thing about having a building that has both assisted living and I like to call it cognitive care instead of memory care, because memory care, I just don't like that word.
Yeah.
But residents go to cognitive care is that our residents have the ability to age in place, to not have to have their bill. Years and years ago, the way the system was set up is you went to one kind of building, and then when you got to where you need a certain kind of care, as Zoe said earlier, they had to uproot you, you had to move over here. And then if you needed therapy and things, then you had to be uprooted and you had to be moved over here. I went through this with my father at one point. I had to move him 4 times, and each time was very hard on him. I mean, it was very upsetting. Now, the way that the system and the buildings are designed is you can go in one area of the building, and if assistant living becomes something that's just a little too much, you have the ability to move right over into cognitive care. You have the same caregivers, you have the same nurses, you have the same food, you have the same home. It's just a higher level of care, and our residents are able to stay with us all the way through end of life. The major time that we would see a resident actually move to a skilled nursing is if it just got to a point where they needed some type of medical care that we could not provide. If you needed to be on a long-term IV, if you became bedridden for an extreme amount of time, and we knew that that was going to be the situation, that might be something. Or if it became a situation with finances. We have some residents that stay with us as long as they can, and when they do reach that point where the personal finances reach an end, then we assist them and sit down and talk to them kind of in advance before that happens, and say, okay, let's start working at and finding you a community where we can transfer over to Medicare, but we're going to make sure that you're still in a beautiful community.
Yeah. Okay. So Nancy asked the poignant question: is there a difference in terms between nursing home and assisted living?
Oh, yes. And I will say, Nancy, I know where that came from. I mean, because I grew up in that time too. I mean, when I grew up, all you had was hospitals and nursing homes. Those were your 2 options. So someone that got to a certain age or needed a certain amount of hands-on care, you were either in a hospital or you went to the dreaded nursing home. And that is part of the stigma that a lot of the senior care facilities fight now. I mean, I know my own mother, I still have, bless her, my 87-year-old mother that lives with me. And when I first got into senior care, my first senior building, she would not step in the building for the first 6 months that I worked there, because she thought I was at a nursing home. And she thought it was going to be very sad and very depressing. And I couldn't get her out of the car and through the front door. She wouldn't go. And the one day that I was able to get her in, she was just amazed. And said, oh, this is absolutely beautiful. I will live here in a minute. It's like, I've been trying to tell you for all this time, but it was not what we all grew up with and not what we understood. So assisted living is a very much home like living in someone's house, independent, with just having assistance when you need it. Nursing home is one step below the hospital. It is you're in a hospital bed, it's usually a very more of a hospital, very medical environment. It's usually 1 to 2 people in a room with the white walls and the low ceilings, and it is more hospital-y. There's just not another way to put it.
Well, and they
assisted
monitor
living,
everything in there.
everything.
You can't take your medicines on your own.
There's usually not, there's some activities, but not very much. The food can be hospital food. It's just a very different atmosphere. We're here, it truly is. And I have people tell me every day, it's just, you just walk in, there's a big living room with a fireplace, and there's a bistro with a coffee maker and the paper on the table. And I mean, we've got a library. I mean, you can just wander through and do whatever you want, or you can do absolutely nothing if you want to.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I see for questions right now. Vicki, you did an amazingly phenomenal job. This was just what I hoped it would be. I hope that everyone has a better understanding of what assisted living is, how it can help you or a loved one, and how it's so different than when I was a kid and I went to go visit my grandparents at the nursing home, and I sat in a rocker and somebody came home and said, "You don't want to sit there. That's the P chair." Okay. Oh, I was traumatized as a child. But it is not that. They are beautiful homes, fantastic food. Their courtyard over at Anthology Stonebridge Ranch is huge and gorgeous, and amazing. Flowers everywhere, but it's your life, how you want it. And you did a fantastic job of getting that point across to everyone.
Anybody that wants to come by and see the building, feel free. Doesn't obligate you for anything, but I'd love to show you around and let you see the community, or send someone our way. There's someone here every day that can show you around and let you see what the community looks like. And I hope to see everybody again soon. We're going to be doing lots of things with celebrations. So I appreciate you guys today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Vicki. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you can check out their website, anthologyseniorliving.com. You can find their information in our magazine or online. And like Vicki said, please feel free to reach out to her. She will gladly meet with you one-on-one, answer any questions you have, show you in person what the community looks like. But all the pictures you saw today, just as a reminder, came from her community. They're not stock images. They're not staged sets. Those are actual images from her community. So, well, everyone, I hope you'll join us tomorrow for bingo, and then we're going to make a sandwich with Dan on Thursday. Vicki, once again, thank you so much. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Bye.